when you look at this Celtic team right now, I think the word is broken.
I have so many questions about lineup decisions, about players just wilting in the moment.
Every team knows we're trying to go to Jason and Jalen. They don't want to pass the ball. And that's something that they're going to learn. They're still learning.
We need some leadership, somebody that can calm us down and not get rattled when everything starts to go a little south. Some kind of lack of mental toughness there.
This was as ugly as it gets, I think, for the Celtics.
It can't be any worse than it is now.
At every level of this organization right now, it is just a chaotic mess.
9 straight wins for this Celtics team.
They're a straight-up dominating team.
These guys, no matter what, they figure out a different way to be great.
Oh, Jaylen Brown is at another level.
Again, weaving his way to the basket.
Oh, my goodness.
Brown, corner, Horford for three. Got it.
Celtics are embarrassing the NBA right now.
It's a mollywhopping. The way the Celtics are winning, they're mollywhopping.
They've turned into the best team in the NBA.
Tatum, another three.
Jaylen Brown. Oh, he ascends.
Oh, Smart with the steal. And the basket. Hero goes to the basket and he gets rejected. This is why they're number one defensive team right here.
Pritchard, 5 on the clock. Deep three. Count it for 4.
To the basket and he is stuffed.
We're watching a show, Mike.
How crazy is it to see this Celtics team, the way they turn this season around?
Think about how things have changed.
It's remarkable what this team has done.
I don't know if we've seen this type of turnaround for us in NBA history.
Your Boston Celtics are the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference as we head to the playoffs.
Is everybody prepared for Kyrie and KD?
Welcome into our Celtics playoff preview show. We've got Scal, Chris Mannix, Chris Forsberg, and Amina Smith here with you. And guys, this season felt like a roller coaster ride. The Celtics, they start out the season 11th in the Eastern Conference standings. And then in January, they flip a switch and they finish the season a 2 seed heading into the playoffs. Scal, I'll start with you. You've been here all season long. How did we get here?
Well, these guys are some haters based on those comments right there. You didn't catch me saying anything bad on that little montage right there. You know, I think a lot of times it's the coach and the players figuring everything out. I like the adjustments they've made defensively, and once they figured that out, they can put all their energy towards offense. Tatum goes to a new level. I don't think that anybody could have guessed they'll be in this position right now playing against Brooklyn, who was on top of the Eastern Conference about 3 months ago.
I would pay for the overtime for the people in the truck to find your negative comments. You
Oh,
had some.
No,
You had some.
not like that.
You had some.
Not like
You gotta
that.
dig 'em about the
You had some
archives.
back there. This team's here because of success that they've had on every level. It was the success of Brad Stevens putting this team together, first by acquiring Al Horford and then by trading for Derek White and Daniel Tice. The success of Ime Udoka for breaking this team of bad habits early on and then in getting them to buy into the switching defense. The success of Marcus Smart proving he's a primary playmaker, and the success of Jason Tatum elevating his game to an MVP level. So it's not one particular thing. It is the total success of 5 or 6 or more people within the organization that got them here.
Yeah, and in that clip I said it was a chaotic mess. And then everything went from pure chaos to making sense. Ime pushed the guys, Brad filtered out the roster. You had Jason Tatum go to the level that we were all expecting. Jaylen Brown followed eventually, and everybody just kind of fell into place. But it's still remarkable to look back. It feels like another season ago to be where we are now. And it's just remarkable. It's such a credit to everyone within this organization for sticking with it when it was bad, because there was a lot of us, and hand up, that thought it could go the other way. And they stuck with it. And the energy, Amina, it actually shifted.
It did. It definitely shifted. I don't know how Jaylen Brown knew that, but I'm glad that the energy did shift.
I just remember
this
Sal after the Minnesota loss singing "Everything is Awesome." That's what I remember.
I told you I never wavered on Marcus Smart, Mr. Lonzo
Here's
Ball.
a look at the schedule for the first round. The Celtics taking on the next. The Celtics with home court advantage for those first 2 matchups. Then we'll hit the road for games 3 and 4. Back in TD Garden for game 5 and so on. Also, games 2 through 6 will air right here on NBC Sports Boston. And we're not the only ones excited about the playoffs. Take a listen to what players had to say about what's ahead.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of trouble sleeping, so I'm just trying to calm myself down. You know, I'm ready to go. I'm excited. It's playoff time. It's the best time of the year.
It's not a traditional 7-seed team. They had some ups and downs this year, but, for the most part, got their full team, and, they're really good. Well coached. They got some great players, obviously.
I know that team very well, and they know us very well. And it'll be a back and forth. And once you throw that ball in the air, you're going to really see some spectacular basketball, and I'm just looking forward to it.
All season long, we've talked about not wanting to face the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. And now the Celtics will be taking on the Nets in the first round of the playoffs. Forsberg, what were your first impressions of this matchup?
Bring it on. Like, you were the best team in basketball for the last 3 months of the season. You shouldn't be afraid of anyone. I was so glad that they didn't try to game the system, try to like jockey for position. Just be who you are, and you are on paper a much better team than the Brooklyn Nets. We'll get to predictions later, but you should go into this with a certain swagger, and if you play offense the way you have, you should win this series.
Scal, I feel like I've talked to you several times, and you said that this is not a matchup that you want to see in the first round. Your first impression when the Brooklyn Nets beat the Cavaliers, and they will be facing the Celtics on Sunday.
Well, I knew that was going to happen. It's
right.
hard to beat Kevin Durant, especially when the Cavaliers are shorthanded. But I still am more worried about the Bucks. So I would take the Garden home court advantage over the Bucks with that second seed and just deal with Brooklyn in the first seed. Listen, if Brooklyn, all season long, I was expecting Ben Simmons to come back. He's going to come back. And I think he's a big difference maker for this team. They need a guy that can guard multiple positions. They lack athleticism. So Ben Simmons is the big question mark. Maybe he comes back later on in the series. Hasn't played since June 20th of last year. So I'm with Forsberg on this one. Right now, the Nets, to me, are wounded, and I don't think that if the Celtics play Celtic basketball, they should not match up well. Now, Kevin Durant is the asterisk to anything bad I say about the Nets because he is probably the best player in the world.
Top 4 seeds in either conference. This is the toughest first-round matchup.
For sure. In both conferences.
That's what I said, either conference. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I'm just saying.
I'm on one.
I'm just saying. Not that the Celtics should be afraid of this matchup, not that they can't win this matchup, maybe in an easier way than some people think. But you can't say that you'd be better off not playing Chicago in that first round, which Milwaukee clearly wanted to do when they threw away that last game of the season. But this is going to be difficult on a couple of different levels. And, the best of the Celtics going to have to be there to win this series. And you don't always have to say that in a first-round matchup.